The reason, James Jones, this is so big to me is because I said, you got to win when you get close. You have to win when you get close because you don't know what's going to change. Defensively, Lamar Jackson, he had the #1 defense in football, and he's an MVP. We have seen that happen 5 times previously in the history of the NFL. And the other 4 times outside of Lamar Jackson, that team advanced to the Super Bowl. Lamar, it has happened 4 times prior to you, and it didn't happen this year. Why am I so concerned? Because of my proximity to the Eagles. Last year, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, just about everything went well. They were incredibly healthy. Lane Johnson, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Miles Sanders, Dallas Goedert, amongst Jalen Hurts, all played. Defense was great. Everything happened. They went to the Super Bowl. But when they didn't win, what happened? You lose your defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon. You lose defensive backs like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Mike Epps. You lose linebackers like T.J. Edwards. You lose defensive tackles like Javon Hargrave, who just so happens to be playing in the Super Bowl for the San Francisco 49ers. And all of a sudden, your entire team regresses because pieces are gone. Patrick Queen, free agent. Justin Madubuike, free agent. Geno Stone, 7 picks, free agent. And then you just lost the architect and the archetype for all of that? I am worried about Lamar Jackson, and that's why he had to win it this year. What's the move mean for Lamar, James?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I'm worried about Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens because you couldn't get it done this year, and you really had the best team all year in football and couldn't get it done. And like you say, it is hard to stay healthy in the National Football League. The chips don't always fall that way, right? And they were healthy, and they were getting key guys back. Now you're going into this, you're losing your defensive coordinator. The defensive coordinator might drop the bag on some of these dudes to bring them to Seattle, all pros like Patrick Queen and them boys. So this team is going to look different. They have so many free agents that are going to be free agents when free agency opens. It's going to be tough to retain a lot of these players. So it's going to be a lot more pressure on Lamar Jackson's shoulders next year because I don't know where you go from the #1 defense. You can't go up. You only can go down. And they did not get to the biggest game with the #1 defense. So it's concerning because now it's going to be much more on his shoulders. And can he deliver?
I got to be honest. The Ravens always have a good defense.
Talk to him.
So I do think it's going to look different. I mean, factually speaking, it is going to look very different. The defensive coordinator is gone. They might hire within house. They have some pretty good options already there on staff that they can promote to defensive coordinator. But they always have a good defense. It's just going to look very different because there are so many free agents. The entire roster is going to look different, really. So it's going to be pressure on Lamar Jackson, but that's what he gets paid for. What were we talking about earlier? You get paid, you play. We pay you, you play.
Right.
And the pressure was always going to be on Lamar Jackson. I think it's going to be a little more difficult. Can't go better than up from 1. So, but I can't do it. The Ravens always have a good defense. They know the division that they play in. They are aware of the free agents that they were going to be losing. We're not like informing them that these guys' deals were coming up. Their defensive coordinator did an incredible job this year. They knew that. There was no possibility that he was going to leave, and I'm sure they've been aware of that for a while as well. So this is a well-run organization. I wouldn't be surprised if they took a step back next year because of some of the players that they're losing and because of losing their defensive coordinator. But I'm not going to count Lamar Jackson and the Ravens organization out completely just because of turnover. There's turnover for lots of teams. Teams go through and fluctuate with roster moves all the time. And like I said, their identity is playing tough, bully football and having a good defense.
This so shady is what hurts me, though, bruh. Because I agree with Joy's last statement of, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they take a step back. They will take a step back. I'm not going to be surprised. I'm going to say that they will.
Defensively or team-wise?
Collectively, because defensively is really that backbone of the team. Against the Houston Texans, they didn't score. The Texans didn't score on offense. They only scored on teams. So I know they finna take a step back. I'm just like, that's another year. That's another year.
What are we talking about here? I'm just disappointed in you two. Joy, I'm with you. You two? What happened? and then you play defense. Yeah. You all these degrees and you dismissing it. And you. I watched defensive teams beat you when y'all had the #1 seed with Aaron Rodgers. Anyway.
Up, huh? Right.
So Harbaugh's been the head coach for 16 years.
Yeah.
12 of them years, they had a top 10 defense, right? 2 of the years, he was a rookie coach, so he was just getting there. The Ravens are known for having defense. That's what they are. It's like identity, right? That Super Bowl year, I can name a couple of guys on offense. I can tell you everybody was on the defense. And then you look at this. So Harbaugh, 16 years, he's had 7 different defensive coordinators. 12 of them defenses, top 10 defense. This is what we're talking about. So y'all telling me something that's like, what's going to change? They're always a top 10 defense. If you don't know the game of football, you would think Harbaugh's a defensive coach.
Sure.
Yep.
He's a special team coach.
Special teams coach.
Shady, the reason I'm so impacted by this because I am obsessed with defense.
Okay.
Remember yesterday, I gave Joy the biggest look in the world when she said the Niners have a generational defense. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. I just can't accept that. The Niners have the #2 defense in football. Okay. Ravens have the #1 defense in football this year. If y'all watch football like we all do, there is a great chasm between the Ravens defense and the Niners defense. I say that to say, even if the Ravens defense just reverts to like the Niners caliber of defense next year, that's a huge difference. The Niners gave up freaking Jared Goff. Down, doom, doom. Ravens don't play that. So if you're Lamar Jackson, all you had to do was score 18 to beat Patrick Mahomes. Now, obviously, this is a little tongue-in-cheek because I believe Mahomes could have scored more. Next year, that's not going to be the case. You couldn't score 18. What happens next year when you got to score 26? Because on average, Mahomes averages 30.2 points per game in the playoffs. All you had to do because of your illustrious defense was score 18 to win. If you couldn't score 18, what's going to happen next year when you got to score 30?
So the Ravens, Harbaugh's been in since 2008.
Yes, sir.
And you followed the Ravens around that time, right? I was still playing in college, in high school, right? So you remember that, right? Your brother, you obviously remember that. What have they been known for all these years?
Defense.
So, like, why is that the biggest concern? Because they gonna be good on defense. We're not questioning that, though, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so I'm not sure they'll be the I'm not sure they'll be the #1 team on defense. But like, damn, do you need to be a good defense? Do you need to be the #1 team in the #1 defense in football?
Yes, because
Lamar
did
to
get as far as he's ever gone.
No. First of all, I think Lamar Jackson will be better next year. I think his offense will be a lot better. He had a first-year offensive coordinator. I'm trying to learn him like he's trying to learn me. Our best receiver is a rookie. They got a lot of talent in Zay Flowers, right? You got Mark Andrews who really got tight end. The good thing is you have an issue there.
Isaiah Likely.
Because the back end Likely is super nice. So what are you going to do? You going to add that to the offensive game plan. So as much as we keep talking about the defense, the offense is going to be better. And then the defensive part, like, they still got small pros over there.
They do.
Cal Hamilton, he going to be here around.
He is.
Roquan is definitely going to be right. He's like the new Ray Lewis. Yep. All I'll say is this. With great defensive teams, you're going to lose coaches because you got a great defense. You're going to lose some good players because you got a good defense. But that's the key of being a great defense and identity is because you got to find new ones, which you've been doing since 2008.
It's hard to do.
It's hard, but it's not impossible.
The only reason I'll say, though, is I feel like this is deja vu. The Eagles lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He was like second in the league in picks. Eagles ain't getting no picks this year. Eagles lost Javon Hargrave. He had 10-plus sacks interior. Eagles ain't getting no sacks this year. Eagles lost T.J. Edwards, who had all the tackles last year, led the team in tackles. Eagles linebackers were atrocious this year. You're going to lose Patrick Queen. You're going to lose Geno Stone, 7 interceptions, most of a safety, second on defense. You're going to lose Justin Madubuike, 13.5 sacks. We made it seem real easy. Oh, the Eagles going to replace it. And I was sitting here last year screaming, the Eagles not replacing it.
They're not the Eagles.
They're not the Eagles, and Jalen Hurts isn't Lamar Jackson.
But their defense last year was the same as the Eagles.
Their identity is not the same. Since I've known about the Ravens, this is what I do know, right? They are bullies, and they play physical defense. I don't care if it's T-Subs or whoever it is. If it's Clowney, that's what they do. Eagles ain't always been known for that. We had some good years of defense with Brian Dawkins and them dudes and the X-Men. We had some of that. But we had some years where we had Casey Matthews and all them regular... those my teammates, ex-teammates. I ain't want to talk bad about them. But they weren't like that. And you know that. You played with them. So let's just not confuse it. The Ravens since day one. I'll give you an example, right? Andy Reid. He's always been known for offense. Special offense, right? Right? Some years we have a top 2 offense. Some years they have a top 10 offense. But we gonna be known for offense. Same thing with the Ravens, bro. They known for defense. We might this year have the #1 defense, and next year we might have the #6 defense. But we gonna be known for playing that defense.
Only thing that this means,
y'all dudes, man.
It is much more on Lamar Jackson's shoulders. That's all that this.
He got paid too, though.
No doubt. I'm not saying he did get paid, but I'm just saying he could not get it done with the #1 defense. So it just means. It just means it's much more on his shoulders. Period.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.